Welcome, guys. This is going to be the first yearly entrepreneur interview that I'm going to do. And each year in January, we're going to do a revised video or a video building on the past year, comparing mental state, challenges, achievements, and just the status and the growth of building the business over the years, which I think is going to be fun for me to look back on, but hopefully it's also going to be entertaining and insightful for you guys. So without further ado, this is the 2024 yearly entrepreneur interview.
Okay, let's get back to it. So, how do you feel starting this year?
I feel good starting this year. It's been a lot going on at the end of last year, intensifying the startup coaching program, and then because of my master's degree, I was sort of set aside the business work for a longer period of time to do my exams. I feel like it's been a hectic but good start to the year, but I definitely feel like there's some habits that I've had to get back into doing, and sort of some of the mental space where I've had to regain some of the hardcore productive and disciplined habits which I had from last year.
So, what was the biggest challenge you overcame last year?
It's funny though, even though I'm the one who's written all these questions, I haven't thought really about it. I think there are a few. If I had to say what was the biggest challenge, I would probably say figuring out, or first it was determining that I didn't want it to be a clothing business purely, and then figuring out how would I be able to add the maximum amount of value to, one, the marketplace, but secondly in the offer that I was going to create. And then in building that offer, there's some quite big challenges in terms of the whole outreach system and the approach for doing that. I think I would say that was the biggest challenge, because of course, I mean, we'd set some goals, or I'd set some goals for the business in terms of like amount of followers and other goals that we didn't reach. But I wouldn't say that in and of itself were the most challenging things. Those were just results that didn't happen.
Okay, so in relation to the goals you just mentioned, what was your biggest achievement last year?
In the big picture of things, I think the biggest achievement that I made last year was solidifying my intent for the long-term view of the business, meaning that like halfway through the year, or transitioning into the either like startup coaching program or entrepreneur accelerator program, I really had a lot of mindset changes and perspective development that allowed me to understand that this was going to happen. It's only going to be a matter of time. And so fully understanding that if I just keep working at this for long enough, it will happen if I can be patient and keep learning. I think that was the biggest personal achievement for me, because it's changed the perspective for me in everything I do basically then. But I would say in terms of like direct business objectives, I would say it was a pretty big achievement for me to successfully onboard the 3 first clients to our program.
Okay. Would that also mean that was your biggest lesson, or?
Not necessarily, I think. I think the biggest lesson I had through 2023 was that, and this has been exemplified through minor challenges and through big challenges and through the whole year, is that there's never going to be a right time to start anything, whether that's a new idea, tackling an obstacle I'm facing, having a hard conversation or anything. There's never going to be a right moment where everything aligns and the stars are in the right place or something like that. So it's more so of how can I prepare my best as quick as possible to just get started with this right now, minimizing the delay as much as humanly possible, and just starting to execute. I think because that translates into everything that I do, both daily and weekly and monthly and yearly, and in every type of task, not just business side of things as well. So I'd say that was definitely the biggest lesson.
Okay, so through all that work, I'm guessing you read a lot of books.
Yeah, I just made one of the February videos I made for ending the 1 year accountability posting challenge of daily posting for a whole year. I mentioned the top 3 books, and the top 3 books were the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. It was Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, and it was $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. Those are 3 books that I think everybody who gets the chance should read, because they contribute so much knowledge and wisdom which can be applied to basically everything you do. The experiences you provide people and your own approach to life. But besides those 3, I would probably say that a 4th one would probably be Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Life Babin or Babin, or how it's supposed to be pronounced. Again, a book on leadership, which is truly an incredible book, highly tactical, one most people would be able to pick up and use immediately. And for the 5th position, it would probably have to be something like either The Diary of a CEO, 33 Rules for, I don't know if it's like business and life or what it's called, but either that one or the 10x Rule, I think, or Expert Secrets. Either the 10x Rule by Grant Cardone or Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, and truly an incredible book as well.
So we already talked about for the past year. What about personal goals?
Yeah, personally speaking, I want to be more authentic. So I want to be more true to myself in a more unapologetic way when I'm with other people. I'm still being kind and nice, of course, but not really, hindering my perspective or what I mean, or when giving opinions or advice. And I think that, and then not being unintentional. So being very intentional with the way that I do spend my time. This is something that I've talked about a lot as well, but it's still something I believe needs continuous attention to detail in order to completely master it or to become good at it. Because I still feel like there are things I spend time doing or people I spend time with that are not worth the time.
So what are your main business goals?
So the main business goals for 2024 are going to be, first and foremost, to get all of my clients successfully through the coaching program and to get the first round complete. But I think in a more grand and completely, or in a whole year perspective, it's to sell out the original collection, the 1,000 units that we're selling for the original collection. And then it's also going to be to reach 1,000 followers on social media, especially on Instagram, which is our main platform. So yeah, those 2 are our main 2024 business goals.
What challenges do you expect to face?
So because I spent the most of last year working on the coaching program and not as much on the t-shirt business, I think there's still quite a few challenges in terms of selling shirts and apparel that I haven't faced. So I expect there to be quite a few. I expect there to be quite a few challenges in regards to selling out the collection. But I think there's still some unforeseen challenges with the program as well. And other than that, I'm sure that there are going to be unforeseen challenges related to just keeping the energy and the passion high and keeping going for the 2nd year straight, making sure that I continue to do the basic things that are necessary to get where I want to go. And then sure, of course I'm going on exchange again at the end of the year or the second half of the year. And I guess that running the business while I'm on exchange is going to be somewhat of a challenge as well, which I'm also looking forward to doing, but I don't think it will be easy.
Okay, so let's get a little bit more personal. So, what's your current relationship status?
Yeah, so my current relationship, the current relationship status is still single, which is, previously something that I've chosen to focus all of my time and put mental and physical resources on expanding the business and growing the business and putting all my effort into that. And it's something that I'm continuously prioritizing to do so. So I definitely don't feel like this is the year where that changes for me. And which, I feel fine because I know why I do it. I know the reason for why I've prioritized it in the way that I have. So it's cool.
So, what advice would you give to anyone watching this?
I think related to the primary lesson I learned from last year is, if there's anyone watching who has considered to start a business or who has dreams that they want to pursue, or they know they have dreams but they're afraid of pursuing them, then my biggest piece or my best piece of advice right now was probably just to get started. Really, I know it sounds simple, and I bet you are hearing this everywhere you go online and from so many people, but if you can just take action today on identifying what are the first steps you need to accomplish to get closer to your dream or the business you want to start, or even if it's in social relations as well, asking someone out, or asking for a promotion at work. It might be various things, right? But of course, we're more entrepreneurship focused on this business and this brand. So the best piece of advice I can give you right now is really just take action today. Even if you feel like it's an insignificant amount of progress, if you can just do one thing today, one thing tomorrow, and one thing the day after, over time, those small daily actions are going to compound to so much bigger results than you can imagine. And I know I'm only saying this from a standpoint of having done this for a little over a year, but I feel like that's the biggest lesson I've learned with all the things I've tried to do in that time. And so it's truly the best piece of advice I can give you in this moment. So please, I hope you can use this for something. And if not, that's completely fair as well, but I feel like it's at least my duty to put that out there.
So, taking in all the lessons from the last year, is there anything you want to do different this year?
Yeah, so in the grand scheme of things, one of the things I always preach is keep going with the thing you're doing. Like, if you're not getting the results you want, it's either because you're not doing the right thing or you haven't done it for long enough. And last year, about halfway through the year, I changed the main offering for the business, going from a clothing business to a service business, right? And so, that basically meant that I hadn't wasted the first half year, but I just had a lot of learning debt I had to repay because I changed the focus. And that's something I want to redo this year. So this year I want to keep going with the exact same thing and just continue building on that to gain the real momentum and gain the real compounding interest, to see if we can get that much further before we head next year. So that's like when I sit in this chair, or maybe in a different chair next year and do the interview again, I want to be able to say that I stuck with the same thing for long enough to have seen like significant results. I also want, because we ended, the first year with a significant loss, I want to not necessarily end on like with a positive net income based on the activities of the business, but I definitely want to see some level of substantial revenue from the activities or the operations of the business. So that is going to be something I look forward to, and I definitely hope to be different. Yeah.
Great. That wraps it up.
Yeah. Fun. I hope you were watching this, found value in this video. I hope maybe this inspired you to start pursuing your own business, or your own dream, aspirations, something you feared doing, but maybe you've been holding yourself back. I plan on doing these interviews every day, every year, at least until 2030, before I turn 30, because that will have marked a substantial amount of years. And it will be incredibly fun, I think, to look back on those years and see, how did I develop as a person? What did I learn? How did my beliefs change? How did my advice change? And as I said in the beginning as well, I think it will be incredibly valuable to you guys, and hopefully also entertaining, but most importantly, insightful. And so, ending the first yearly entrepreneurs interview for the Discipline Group. So thank you guys for watching. If you found value in this video, please leave a like or comment, whatever you prefer. And please subscribe so we can grow the community and help even more people change their lives and become the best versions of themselves. And so if you would do that, of course, I would be incredibly grateful. And so, as always, guys, thank you for watching and stay disciplined.